Bulbanak everybody, and welcome to another episode of Stylish. I'm your host Fuzz. Thank you for joining me for another week of exciting stylish adventures. Today I am heading out to Colo-i-suva to visit a very good friend, Krystelle Lavaki, Lady Cupcake herself, who's going to be teaching us how to plate up an exciting Fijian afternoon tea using local treasures found at the supermarket. I hope you enjoy the journey as much as I do. Bulbanak everybody, so here we are today with one of my favorite people, Miss Krystelle Lavaki, who I often call my favorite cupcake, although today you look more like a pineapple. Sweet and juicy.
It's like a cream bun right now in the sun.
And it's interesting because we're actually going to be talking about cream buns today, aren't we? So we're out here at Colo-i-suva at Krystelle's new place. She has a cottage right in the forest, actually. It's quite beautiful. So Krystelle, what sort of inspired your move from the city to just outside the city?
I wanted to be like you, like a woodland fairy. No, I'm joking. I think with everything, with how expensive things are to live in Suva, and basically what I can afford, the trade-up was between picking a small hole in a town where I'd be spending an hour driving to work every day, or moving further out to this place, paying the same amount and coming home to this. So, yeah.
Have you always been somebody who's liked to live in nature?
Yeah, we grew up, my family home was like a farm. My father thought it was like a great project. So we had pigs, ducks, chickens, goats, and that was our thing in the morning. We got up, we fed all the animals and everything, and that was my childhood. And we knew the names of birds because there was a massive forest behind our house and everything. So I'm always trying to find my way back to that.
So here we are. We're about to plate out some exciting local fare. Coletta, what's your favorite thing to buy from the market?
So what I usually get is, the seafood packs that they have in the market,
God,
the
yes.
ready-made. Yeah, that's what I love to get from the market.
But what's your vanity kind of go-to?
I would say lolaban.
Lolaban.
Me
Nice.
too.
Nice.
In fact, I've looked more and more like a lolaban, having lived so close to the market, worked so close to the market.
But you're like a skinny lolaban.
I'm a skinny, like a model lolaban. The actual only model-looking lolaban here is skinny. So would you like to... What's your favorite? Clearly not lolaban. What's your favorite thing to buy from the market?
It's like lemons.
I usually go for the homemade purini.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. They're very cheap at the market. So when I don't have time to make it at home, I just hop onto the
You know how to
You're
make
one
it.
of those horrible people. Then I just have to be fancy and like, I just made some purini.
You actually know how to make it?
Oh, my mom knows how to make it.
Okay, look, don't claim something that's like, it's like a friend of mine, Mercy Nalu, I see you. So she taught me, she gave me a recipe on how to make lolaban. Anyway, she said to put 1 teaspoon of yeast in like 3 cups of flour. Anyway, it ended up being dough buns. It was not lolaban, it was disgusting. So, Mercy, your failure is not recorded on television. So these are our assistants today. They're going to be helping us out, guys, to plate some exciting afternoon tea fare.
Yes.
Okay, so I've been given a knife.
Oh.
I don't know if that's safe or not, but we're about to do our own version of a high tea, and it better be good, otherwise I will use this knife on something other than bread. So how do we start, Krystelle? What are we doing?
I don't know if I need to say a prayer before this or So when we think high tea, you think London and having tea with the Queen.
Yes.
Because that's the most relevant thing to us here in Fiji. So we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna use things like, what's your favorite thing to eat?
Lolaban, 100%, ongalu. Or to be honest, anything that makes me fat.
Why turanga? It's like going down to Nursery right now. So we're gonna take things like bila, Bambakau.
I love bila.
Yeah, lolaban. Like all these things look like street food to us. But all over the globe, there's this big trend on making street food, this like hip thing.
Yes.
So why can't we do that here?
Absolutely.
So we're gonna make it fancy.
And we're going to add value to what you would ordinarily walk past and think, oh, that's just some Bambakau, that's just some purini, that's just some whatever. But we're going to make you think, oh wow, that's something that I can take home and I can make something really exquisite out of, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's do it. I leave it to you, Krystelle. Take the lead.
Okay, before anything, we make sure that our hands are clean.
Of course. Sanitize, wash your hands.
Everything.
Like the
wet.
WHO says. Wash your wrists.
What
elbow.
are you doing? Wash your body.
Just
Okay.
wash, have a shower, head to toe, especially on a hot day like this when we're outside, exposed to the elements. This is such a great idea. Carry on.
Penny, you wanna make some purini with us? Okay, come. Let's do some purini.
For those of you that weren't here earlier, Penny was one who lied to us that he makes purini, when in fact he doesn't. His mum does. So shout out to Penny's mum.
Who makes the purini?
Yes, and to Penny who eats it and then says he made it.
So purini, we look at it as this $3 thing in the market. But if you've ever made purini, like Penny hasn't, if you've ever made purini, it's a whole process. You have to start with a caramel, and most of the time, judging from the smell of this, it's a coconut one. And so you gotta make sure that the sugar doesn't burn, and all of these things to make this beautiful, soft thing. So we're gonna make it really, really pretty. So what do you put on purini?
Butter. Literally, that's all I ever put on it.
Taste bud of a child. Penny, what do you put on your
I put peanut butter on my purini.
peanut butter? Good man.
Penny's fancy.
Okay, so what we would normally do is we take the purini and we cut into big chunks, and then you try and put this whole thing into your mouth. But we change it a little bit, yeah?
Yeah.
So we go here, and then we're gonna spread some peanut butter on it, and then we're gonna make little triangles, just so that they're cute little nuggets of goodness. So you're gonna do that. I'm gonna ask you to do that. Set.
So while Penny is doing that, let's ask Coletta. Coletta,
Hi.
hello.
Hi, everything.
So Coletta, what was your favorite thing that you said? Lolaban, right?
Yeah. So lalaban, I have to have it, a little bit gasa at the bottom. That's how I like it.
Oh man, you're preaching to the choir.
So
Awesome.
Gasa and with jam.
With jam. Excellent.
Cool.
So what are we going to do with Coletta today?
So we got some lolaban here that for us spent all night scraping the coconut and making lolaban,
Yes, I scraped it and squeezed it
and went to the market and bought it. So there's your lolaban. We'll get you some butter. Right. So just go ahead and butter it and jam it like you would normally do.
Okay, cool.
Coletta, you're gonna really just want to karate me. But what's the one thing that we do when we're eating lolaban? Aside from...
Put it in your mouth.
Okay, but do you take one bite and then you think, man, there's not enough butter and jam to go through that, It's like really thick.
It's
Okay,
relatable.
100%.
we're not promoting more butter, but we are also.
But apparently now what we've learned is that butter is actually good for you.
Man, he's not a doctor. He's not Donald Trump. Don't listen to him. So maybe we flip this way and just give it another slice down that center, so we have nice thin slices of lolaban.
Stay with us. After the break, we talk more with Krystelle about her love for food, and we continue preparations for our Fijian high tea.
You've always had a love for food. And that love for food was born out of what you saw your mother doing growing up?
My mom owned the restaurant, but my dad did all the cooking at home. And so for me, I learned the technical side of it from a restaurant perspective from my mom. And I learned, number one, that there's no roles in a house. Your husband can come home and cook.
And should.
But I learned flavor combinations and textures and just simple things like when water is boiling, because my father's he's an engineer, and so he looks at things from a logical perspective. But simple things like boiling talo. All you're doing is evaporating water So my father used to be like, that's a waste of energy. Don't turn the heat all the way up. Once it's boiling, you're fine. You can turn the heat down to medium and you just keep that temperature going. And so it's all these little things. It's the like watching my mom make pies and stuff and understanding the science behind why a crust tastes like this compared to something else.
So take it this way
Yep.
and then cut it.
Yeah.
So it's basically like cutting it into like toast-sized pieces, sort of, right?
Yeah.
So are you suggesting sort of like a thick cut kind of toast, or like still keeping it like...
Man, I feel like there's so much pressure. But yeah, like
You brought up ratatouille.
you know, like just enough, but not too much.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're gonna
So it's
actually
still like
no,
lolaban, like
Yeah.
it's still thick and...
you still feel that. Leave this one for Faraz because I feel like you've done something very disgusting to the other pieces, and he only wants butter. So just leave the other one and he can do it.
Thanks. And is this one alright?
What do you reckon, guys? Should we make this a bit thinner?
There's a little bit
Yeah.
of room.
Yeah.
A little bit of room.
Okay, Penny, while Coletta's doing that, I will get you to work on this.
Is this flour?
No, it's close. It's Evie. Evie Yava. So it's grated Evie. I laugh if he opens it and it's flour.
And it is.
Not flour.
See, I win.
So would you like to explain to the audience who don't know, because of course we have had some controversy in the past of people not knowing exactly what things are.
Yes.
But what is the difference?
Between flour and Evie Yava.
Because essentially, I mean, when you go to the market and you look at a package like that, you could assume that that is flour.
Flour, yeah. What do you know about flour?
It's made of flour and grated coconut, and it's wrapped in that as well.
You know what flour really is? Do you watch Lord of the Rings?
Yeah,
Okay, so a little bit.
back in the day.
Okay, so flour is like elven bread. You know, it's that thing that you take on long journeys and it's gonna last you all the way, and you have one small slice and you're full for the day.
Is that kind of like bila though? Like bila is also designed to
Yeah,
last forever, right?
it's like a preserved bread.
Yeah, okay.
So to me, I think Lord of the Rings was really set in like Lao, because it's set around all
According
our
to Krystelle,
themes.
everything is set in Lao.
I agree.
But she's wrong. Everything is actually set in Nandronga. Carry on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna cut these into nice,
Slices?
pretty
or-
slices. Yeah, no slices.
So, sorry, explain what this is now. Or how is it made? What is it made of?
Evie Yava. That's a good question because I actually don't know what it's made of. I just know it's grated Evie. I don't know what's like the binding agent and everything.
Okay.
I really love to be a super duper fantastic and like, oh, actually it's made from the heart of the palm tree, you know? I have no idea.
Actually, that's a really good point though, because you know, I mean, essentially there's a lot of things that we buy from the market and we don't necessarily have to know how they're made,
Yeah.
but they are available and there are people who specialize in making it. So we don't have to learn everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like how much was that at the market today?
That was $2.50.
There you go.
Wow.
You're supporting a micro business and you're getting some delicious food. So thank you both for assisting us so far. Krystelle and I are going to finish our plating and you guys are going to join us for the feast later.
Cool.
Let's do it. Thanks, guys.
Coming up after the break, more with Krystelle and our delicious market delicacies.
What you create, especially when you bake. So I mean, Lady Cupcake has been a phenomenon. Everybody is talking about it. I know that I buy all my cupcakes from you all the time, despite whatever diet I'm on. I mean, you've made me keto cupcakes, you've made me vegan cupcakes, you've made me just cupcakes that have made me fat. But when you're doing these things, I notice that you also incorporate local flavors. So is Fijian food a big part of your inspiration when you are creating dishes, when you are creating cupcakes, when you are creating just anything, just a dinner party?
Man, I'm very fortunate for the way I was brought up. My father grew up on the island in Lakemba, then came to the city, and my mom grew up around the Pacific. she spent quite a bit of time in her primary school in Numea, and so I feel like I was able to get a lot of that exposure through them and the way they do things. One of the things I'm always trying to do is, you know that moment in Ratatouille when the chef eats the ratatouille?
For those of you that don't know, Ratatouille is a children's cartoon about a rat that's a chef. And Ratatouille is
It's like a casserole, a vegetable casserole. Man, I can feel all the French chefs like, sacre bleu! This is an abomination! So ratatouille is like big vegetables. Oh, I can feel the hate coming on right now.
Yes.
But it's a simple dish, and the reason why it's very, very big is because what it does is it tastes like home. It tastes like your childhood. And so, for example, one of my favorite things to eat when I was a kid was ngalu or vakalolo.
Me too.
That's why we look like a caramel.
And sweet.
But yeah, one of my favorite things is ngalu. And so the minute I figured out how to make coconut caramel, I wanted to try and put it into a cupcake because I thought, man, cupcakes aren't just this one thing and they should be a celebration. With anything that I create, I want to make you feel special. So every cupcake, I'll ask you, if I'm doing it for a client or for a friend, I'll ask what your favorite ice cream is, or just something that gives me an insight into what you like. And so it's just trying to make you feel like it's familiar and make you feel like I thought about you when I made this. I didn't just like throw all the ingredients in a mixer and like, oh yeah, there's a cake coming out. There's a lot of thought process that goes into it, and I always want to bring it back home. Like I always want to make you feel like this is a piece of pie that reminds you of your grandmother, or reminds you of when you went to your auntie's house that one day when you were a kid. So if it does that one thing, then I'm set. Like all of that thought and everything that's gone into it sort of makes sense. Does that answer? I feel like I've gone all over them. Like
You answered the question.
I went to Naitasiri to go to France.
Isn't it fantastic that there are still young people in Fiji who haven't bought into like commercial ideas of food and are still interested in, I mean, would we even refer to these as delicacies, or I mean, are these just everyday treats?
But when you define it like a delicacy, it's something that's from that area, no?
Something that's from this area, something that's special, something that's sort of set apart from everything else that I suppose you don't eat regularly.
Yeah, so I mean, take the purini for example.
Yes.
We all thought that it was unbelievable that Penny knew how to make purini because we know it's a bit complex, and
Yes.
we know that certain areas in Fiji are like the purini champions, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't know, I could be wrong, but I reckon they're a delicacy.
And I suppose we should treat them with that level of respect as well.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. Okay, so now what do we do?
Just pick up like whatever you want to pick up. So we got a whole bunch of stuff from the market. We got Bambakau and everything. Go wild, Fuzz.
Wild is good.
Not like a hyena, but like, like a quiet hyena.
I think that something that everybody absolutely loves and is aware of, because it's a very sort of regular breakfast in a lot of people's homes, are Bambakau, right?
Yes.
So I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said that good Bambakau is the kind that is not hollow. Is that true?
Boy, it depends. It depends on... The traditional Bambakau is a fried yeast bread.
Okay.
So a fried yeast bread will have a hollow in the middle, like a beignet.
Okay, okay.
The beignet is French, yeah? Or is it in New Orleans?
It's New Orleans, so it's a Creole sort of dish, but yeah.
So a Bambakau is what I think is like the Fiji version of a beignet.
But without
should have a hollow.
But without the
icing sugar
the
and
icing
stuff.
sugar and
Yeah.
all around it. Okay, cool. Okay.
So the new version of it is like after we've discovered donuts.
Yes.
Donuts are cakey inside and everything. So gang were just like, wait, we should put some baking powder in our Bambakau, and it'll be more filling.
So if you put baking powder in Bambakau, it makes it more
So
like
you lose
solid?
that hollow.
And if you put yeast, then it's hollow.
It has the hollow.
Gotcha.
Set.
Okay, what do you need me to do?
Do whatever you want. Okay, so what would you feel? Actually, don't do whatever you want to do because it might kill me.
So how would we present a Bambakau differently? I mean, the way that I would do it is just like, just jab a knife in there and just lather it with butter and dip it in tea.
Oh.
Because life. Oh, a little bit jam too, but guava jam specifically. I don't do this.
Oh, okay. I'm going to pull this. I bluff. So maybe we cut it in the middle.
Okay, so do I cut it this way?
Yes, please.
Excellent.
And then.
And I'm stabbing the
Same thing.
Bambakau.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like that's the only way you can cut it. Okay, so this is very much a sort of that donut sort of Bambakau that we were talking about,
it's
right?
got a bit of baking powder and you can see it nice and cakey inside. So do that with both, and then you can put on your preserves like your butter and your jam. I actually really, really like honey. I like guava jam as well, but I'm a honey kind of girl.
So you're sweet, but
And-
also you sting.
Yes.
I love it. Just so that everybody knows. Be very careful.
Whew.
Krystelle will sting you after she's been sweet to you. You can also call Krystelle, because she's single, on 99 I block. And she'll make you Bambakau every day.
Yeah, you know the whole sting thing? It's going to happen very soon on national television. As I was saying before
I love
was
honey too.
interrupted, we always talking about supporting small micro enterprises, and one of my favorite things is Kandavu honey. And it's made by the women in Kandavu, and they ship it over, and it's a beautiful product. And one of the best things to look at when you're looking at honey is the consistency, like the thickness in that. And so that's, I don't know, I just did a whole spiel on honey. You can tell how much I hate food. This is why I look like a lolaban.
So yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. The thing with honey is that just a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago maybe, there was a major Australian honey brand where it was found that they had added water and sugar to dilute the honey. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there are a number of producers who do that to sort of stretch honey production, especially because honeybees are, dying out, and there are issues with honey right now in the world. If you don't know about it, guys, Google it. The honeybees are going missing. But I think that it's important to know that there are some incredible producers in Fiji who do proper honey, and Kandavu honey is actually one of them.
Yeah.
And it's supporting, of course, women, as you said.
And the thing I love is, the rest of the world are just starting to discover organic. I mean, they're not just starting to discover it, but it's becoming this thing. And I always laugh when people in Fiji say, oh, we need to go more organic and everything. We've been going organic since day one. Like, we're still very, very much organic. And this chopping board talinga is very big.
And very organic.
But yeah, we've been doing organic since the get-go, because for us, being organic is cheaper. In more developed countries, organic is not as cheap as what we have here.
And really, essentially, I mean, organic food is just certified food. It's food that's certified organic. But in a lot of cases, like in ours, for example, where I think we're still developing standards around it, a lot of wild food is organic. And a lot of our food is wild.
And, I mean, if you're not sure what organic is, it's just you don't use chemicals to enhance a flavor of something. You don't use chemicals to kill pests. Or in the case of honey, you don't use particular additives, or you don't fumigate the hive. The way I'm talking is like I'll keep bees in my backyard or what.
I am so proud of you.
All the women in Kandavu are just like, wait, you don't even know how to make the honey.
It's not even from the bee. I bluff, guys. Although somebody told me once that honey was from ants, and I was like, doll, you need to read a book.
You need to be a book.
Okay. Oh my God, look what I've done. I'm so proud of myself, because what I've done
it's
is
very bourgeois.
there's one with jam, one with peanut butter, one with honey, and one just butter, because that's the way that I like it.
The world will always be more colorful with you in it for us.
Always, always, darling. I aim to inspire.
We're getting closer to creating a stylish platter of market favorites. Stay with us to hear more about Krystelle's passion for local flavors, fun, and food right after the break.
So, before this, when we were talking about your move and the fact that you've come to this really, really cute cottage, by the way, it's absolutely incredible. But you talked about issues of sustainability. So you're more conscious of that now, about how much you're buying and the impact that that's having. So do you want to just talk about that a little bit?
My background is in conservation, and for as long as I've known, I've loved nature. And so my move out here was a stepping stone to eventually becoming self-sufficient. So living in a home that provided its own electricity from solar energy, getting my water from the rain, and just, like my father would say, just being ridiculous. But just being more conscious about the way that like my footprints on earth. Like, am I contributing in a good way? Am I making it a better place that my grandchildren can live in, or am I just being destructive and selfish? And of course, there's nothing wrong with being in a big home, but I thought if I could cut down everything, I don't need 16 flavors of jam in my cupboard. I really like only one. So if I could cut down all of that, then I could cut down a lot of other things. And that went down my clothing, just being more appreciative of everything and not just like, I want it all.
Yeah.
Okay, one of my things I love about high tea is finger-sized everything. But like a palangi kind of finger, not our finger. Like our finger is...
Our finger is like your whole arm.
So I'm gonna get you to cut. You know what this is, yeah?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So I'm gonna get you to make.
Would you like to tell the audience?
Oh.
We're not alone.
Right. I always feel really rubbish trying to. So if you're not sure what this is just tapioca yava, and that cost me, I think, like $1.50. I think all up, we must have spent maybe $25, and the two of us, plus the two amazing humans.
Yes. Who are skinnier than us.
Oh my gosh. Nobody even went there. So you are going to do that.
Okay, so we need this in kaivalangi finger-sized pieces.
Yeah,
okay.
But maybe a bit fatter. Yeah,
So
I think that's a good one.
So this is like a fat kaivalangi. Love it. Tops. I'm trying to think of one of my friends.
Yeah.
Love you, doll. Love you. Okay.
That's cool. So while Fuzz, you doing that, I'm gonna do the same thing to one of my favorite things. You know when you go to one songo, and there's like 19 different varieties of pie. You can go for a breakfast songo. You can, like, not a breakfast songo, but a songo in the morning or whatever. There'll always be a pie. So we can't have high tea without a good pineapple pie.
Of course. And honestly, pineapple pie, like, people don't quite understand, people who live outside of Fiji.
Yeah.
But like Fijian pineapple pie, much like Fijian custard pie, to be honest,
Yeah.
is a rarity that everybody needs to have once in their life.
One of the things you're always gonna try and do, and it always looks horrible when you're prepping, is making sure that your blade is nice and clean. Like for tapioca yava, it's okay. Because it's not things that have two different consistencies, or it's got like a custard. So if you're dealing with something like cream or something with a custard and you want to make sure that you get nice cuts, always make sure the blade is clean after every slice. Okay. And all you have to do is wipe, like what I'm doing right now, wipe it on the side of a board.
Oh, that is actually a very useful tip.
Yeah, save water. Don't have to run it under the tap every 2 seconds. Obviously, you're not gonna like cut pie and then go and cut beef, or the other way around,
Oh, well, I mean.
For the sake of saving water.
For the sake of laziness.
Okay, so we've got our fingers sorted. What's some other things that we can do? Oh, while you're doing that, I just cut up some parle.
Love it.
And one of my favorite things to do with parle is, when it's already buttered, especially if it's warm, is to go over it with some honey and a squeeze of lemon.
Oh, beautiful.
Ooh, it is just like, it reminds me when I was in the French Riviera and...
The French Riviera being La Campa.
Gosh, I feel so much animosity.
Now, with every afternoon tea, you need to have a lot of sweet, but you also need to have a little bit of savory. So what are we going to do for that?
Okay, so I love meal prepping, And these are basically leftovers. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some pretty little sandwiches.
So what are these?
So that's like a creamy chicken and mushroom that I made the other night. And this is like a chicken bolognese.
Okay.
And so all we're gonna do is you can use long loaf. We couldn't find long loaf today, so we just got what's this thing called?
It's called bun loaf.
Wow, you're so cultured for us, Ali.
What can I say?
What?
I'm
No.
not from Lakamba. Oh,
Oh, child.
Oh, well,
So
look,
we're gonna do.
Firstly, how?
Firstly, I
Can
need
you
to find a knife.
imagine, audience out there,
This
that
boring
the
knife?
chef beside me does not tell me how to cut it, and then expects me just to know. This is the kind, you'll never be a teacher.
First of all, you are one of those students that just like the teacher is teaching mathematics and you're just like, I am so over this, I'm ready for fractions and division.
Calculus. Okay, so
we're gonna
basically,
make
just
cute,
a little toast.
yeah, little
like a piece
toast.
of bread. Okay.
What do the French call these things? My knife is rubbish. Of course, Faraz has the most sharpest thing in the world, so he's gonna do it. What I was thinking was we could do some straight like this, and we could do some at an angle, but you're already going into it, so it's cool.
Listen, nobody told me what it is that I needed to do. Krystelle, I don't think that I should do this.
Oh my gosh.
Because this one's split into.
Man, I'm not judging you, but I'm also just wondering how you have survived. Fuzz, Ali's mom, you're an amazing woman because Faraz is still alive.
You know what, I'm going to try this knife and see what happens with this. You know what it is, everybody? If you don't have somebody to give you instruction, oh, this is really rubbish. So you just carry on. You just carry on.
You can just chat to me. Or do you know how to open Boo?
No. So you just do that.
Oh, okay. I'll pass you the slices and you can put the filling on.
That's what I'll do. Okay, just take this bun away from me. It's just I never want to see it again. So
it's okay. He didn't mean it.
I did. So so basically it's like making a sandwich, right?
Mm-hmm. But
How
you're not
much-
gonna put another piece of bread on top.
Oh, okay.
We're just gonna go like bruschetta.
Okay, cool.
And bruschetta is just fancy toast with something on top.
Yes.
I think sometimes they call it crostinis, and they use French stick or baguettes.
Which is probably similar to kind of what we're doing right now. What's interesting to note is that very often when the Europeans do, they put very simple toppings. So they just put like
olive
tomato.
oil and tomatoes.
and sometimes balsamic vinegar. But I mean, we live in the islands, and if I ate that, I would be hungry in 5 minutes.
And
so
also,
better for me to put chicken.
Also, where are the olive trees? You know, we need to be a bit more local. Think local.
And you know, I mean, we're very lucky that we have chicken growers and suppliers. As far as you can, of course, support local farmers. Very important. Or support businesses that support local farmers. I think that's very, very important.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's enough slices. I think if, you know, because just like Penny and Coletta, because, you know, Penny and Coletta are we have to really worry about their weight.
Yes, of course.
Because we're such models.
They will never be models like us if they
Yes.
continue to eat the way they're doing,
Yes.
especially all that purini that he makes but doesn't really make. And Coletta, actually Coletta never said she made anything.
Yeah.
Is that? At least she was honest.
Yeah.
You know, it's really funny is that when I started Stylish, many weeks ago now, I was actually a vegan.
Oh, yes.
No
One of those
more.
wonderful diets that
You didn't
really...
tell me to put butter?
I've told you did I not tell him from
Okay,
the
this one
beginning?
doesn't have butter, so it's
he
for people who are weight conscious like me. So when you're part of like, you know, when you want to do like a model's diet, don't put butter.
When you want to do a model's diet, you'll eat the basket that the food came in. Clearly,
Eat the leaves of the pineapple because it'll shred your fat coming out.
Ooh, not to mention shred your life.
Oh, let's not even go there. Why do you keep stealing my pieces of bread? You leave me all the rubbish pieces that are falling apart.
First of all, I'm buttering them for you, my darling.
Oh, why the hell am I buttering it for?
You have just graduated to Vakil's level
I-
700.
I am officially a sous chef. Could I work with you, Krystelle, in your kitchen when you are baking? I won't do anything. I'll just dance.
Man, you know, I feel like there's dogs and look at the tree. It's so beautiful. I love the atmosphere out here, don't you?
I don't like this. Can I change it to the other one?
This is how you're gonna work in my kitchen. Tell you to cut the vegetables.
I love this.
You'll be cutting the lobster.
And then I'll be eating it.
Man, you're true. This is rock hard.
I know.
This is what happens when the thermostat in your fridge is rubbish. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. By the time we finish setting all of this up, that's
It'll be
gonna
beautiful.
melt. Yeah.
And do you know what, guys? I think that this is actually one of the most joyful things about actually preparing food together. Because food is supposed to bring people together, and it's supposed to make you laugh, and it's supposed to, you know, create bonds in friendship and test bonds in friendship too.
You know, we talked about, like a couple of weeks ago, we talked about our love for food. And one of my favorite things with food, and I always find it weird, you know how some families, you walk in on Christmas morning and, you know, the children have to go and stay in one room because all of the aunties are ready to, you know, just explode, and there's so much stress and everything. That never really happened in our household. Like, we went up to my uncle's house, and it was just very jovial. You know, the atmosphere was really nice, and it wasn't seen as a chore.
Yeah.
And I always find it weird when people are like, oh my gosh, I have to peel the potatoes. Like, don't you like potatoes? You know, and you can sit and talano and prep things. And so.
But I think it is very much about the way that we approach things. You know, like in anything in life, I think the way that we approach food has a lot to do with whether we grow up enjoying the process of creating. You know, a lot of us just kind of show up to the dining table and expect that food is there. But it was like me. I mean, when I was growing up as well, my mother loves to cook. I mean, it's her thing. She's always cooked. And I was always involved in that process. And so whilst I can't bake because she doesn't bake.
Well, your mother conquers the world.
But I can cook. And I think that the reason that I can cook is because I don't remember a time when I wasn't helping in the kitchen. And I think that it's an important skill we should all have. We should all be able to prepare something for ourselves. You know? And with other people to laugh. And I think that Mum and I bonded because we cooked together.
Absolutely. I'm going to do something really dangerous with this Bambakau, and I'm going to turn it into a deep fried savory goodness. So I'm going to try out some of the chicken and mushroom on it, and we're going to put some of the chicken and tomato on it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we won't tell you it didn't work.
So how important is the final process? So like when you're having people over, you've made your food, then you plate. Now people always talk about plating, right? But how, like, you know, I mean, it sounds like very much a sort of a restaurant term, but generally speaking, people eat first, you know, as they say, with their eyes before they taste it on their palate. So how important is it to you when you're, for yourself or even when you have people over, to plate? And how easy is it to do at home?
So plating is just as important as the prep that you put into food. Imagine if you made the most beautiful, I know because you're just like a seasoned baker and cook and everything.
Of course. Betty Crocker to the rescue.
Okay, let's put it in fashion terms. Say you've made...
I get that. Yeah.
Say you've made this exquisite garment.
Yes.
You've made this beautiful dress and it's fantastic. You've put in 19 hours of sewing this dress. I don't know how to sew, as you can
It
tell.
doesn't take 19 hours to carry on.
So it's taken you
You
this...
make yourself sound like there's something wrong with us. Like we can't sew.
like
That's probably how I would sew, like
one stitch at a time.
Hand stitch. Anyway, carry on.
But it's like if you've put in all this effort into a dress, just like you would have put it into a pie. You've made this beautiful pie, and then you just go and you put it on the ground. You know, you're not doing justice to the amount of work that you've put into it. So finish it off, like see it all the way through. You know, if you make this pie, think of how you're gonna put it on a plate. You know, it shouldn't just be piled and stacked on top of each other and cut anyhow, you know? And it isn't complicated. It's simple things, it's small bites. It's not eating, you know, taking a whole piece of pie and whacking it into your face. You know, it's just, again, it's appreciating every little step. And how easy it is my kitchen literally has one knife. That's what I meant by, like, I downsized everything. I bought another knife today so that you could help me.
Oh, fantastic. I don't know how safe it is for me to be carrying around a knife, but that's okay.
We're going to be eating leaves today. But yeah, you can do it with a knife if you don't have a grater or, you know, a certain thing that a YouTube video tells you to do. There's 10,000 other ways you could do something. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to show how simple it is to do that.
Fantastic. Okay, so now we're up to the final step, which is plating. So tell us, what are you going to do? This is a beautiful board, by the way.
Yeah, so whenever you're plating, even if it's like a weird looking plate or whatever, you know, try and make it every single part of that thing pretty. A very good friend of mine owns another small business, and this is what she does. And this is one of my favorite things to host friends with, and it's perfect for 4 people. So we're not gonna do a grazing board because I know that's like the thing to do. We're just gonna do a big mangiti board.
I love it.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna get a little bit creative, Mr. Ali. I laugh if the pie falls. You wanna put the pie on?
Sure.
It's like the stickiest thing. Eh?
How and where?
Okay. One of the things I like to do is sort of picture some like a sort of shape that we're going with or whatever. And so what you can do is you can either put things in one bunch, or you can spread them out.
Group colors? Is that what you do?
You can do that. Okay. We're gonna go wild today.
Excellent. Okay, well, I'm gonna group them right here next to this beautiful hibiscus.
So I'm gonna hold all of these things, and the whole reason why we're doing it this way is because you claim that you are not very good with baked goods and stuff.
No, I'm not.
And clearly I'm fabulous at it. So you're gonna set this up. You're gonna make this look pretty.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
We're going to take Bambakau. I think just for like color composition is probably a good idea to sort of like place this right here.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I just absolutely love the fact that we have like a bit of a
melted honey
difference in
situation.
color. This way, like
Nice.
Here. Lovely. Now what?
Up to
Help
you.
me.
You want to do some savory? You want to do some more sweets?
I think we should
Think of all the shapes and everything we're working with. How about some bila?
Yes, bila is one of my very, very favorite things.
Excellent.
So let's put bila here in this corner.
And all we've done is, I think the technical term for it is julienne or julienne. I love it.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it looks natural and organic.
I'm gonna put some lemons next to our pikelets. So we're going with the purini. And again, this has peanuts. If you have peanut allergies, you can swap it out for something else.
And you can also blame Benny.
And his weird purini eating ways.
I mean, who the hell is Perini with?
Peanut butter. Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, please,
Creative flow.
carry on and just shove your ideas into the opinion.
Force your ideas onto my will.
I love how I'm like making a bit of a shape here.
Yes.
Don't you?
It's
Love
like
it. It's like Star Wars.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry,
that's cute.
George Lucas. Right.
So everything is cut into finger-sized pieces, basically, or easily manageable.
Yeah. I mean, you can go wild. You can do diamonds, but also make it easy on yourself. Don't
overthink it.
Don't decide, oh my goodness, I'm gonna make like a star and it has to have these many points. Don't do that.
And of course, we always give boards height, right?
Yep, because you don't want anything flat, so you're trying to build things up on it. Just gonna take you away. What else should we put on, Fuzz?
I mean, I think this corner could be our savory corner because we have so much sweet.
We this is the madake side of things. So I've got. You wanna put one of the toast things?
Absolutely, it's a great idea.
Let me get some honey as well for the
For the
pikelets.
drizzle.
Yeah, the drizzle my nizzle.
Don't you just love it? It's gorgeous.
Yes, very natural. Very. You wanna add more height to that, or are you fine with that?
I mean, I would like to add more height.
Okay.
Although what we could do is these experiments that you've done
Yes, the
with the
Bambakau.
Bambakaus.
Because they're different
let's
shapes.
do that.
Oh, I
Is
love
gonna
it.
fall off? No? Okay, that's fine.
Unless I jump up and down on this balcony.
We'll put that there. We'll put this here. Just jam it in.
That's what Faraz says every time he tries to put me in a dress.
And you know what? It works. You look great today.
Of course I do. I can't breathe, but I look great. Should we put some vundi on the side there to match that yellow?
I think so. I think bundi's a great idea.
You know, this is like, so this isn't cooked, this is raw.
But it's right.
It's ripe, and I love it. I love the flavor that a vundi or a plantain has. I'm just gonna slide it over there.
So the idea is just to like play around with it, right? So everybody can develop their own aesthetic around food and around what they want it to look like.
Yeah, and there's no rules to it, man. Like, if you wanna cut it into squares, cut it into squares. If it looks pretty to you, don't stress about it. Food shouldn't be stressful. Food should be happiness. I mean, it keeps you alive. So
exactly.
Don't overthink it.
I want to put some fresh stuff on here. So we've got these beautiful lychees, and I'm just gonna like drop them. No?
Yes, please put them in.
Excellent. So,
you know, and the common misconception is that it's not the common misconception. I would just like to correct this now. Is that this isn't dawa? This isn't dawa. Let's get this all clear, guys. This is not dawa. I'm gonna open up one that you've got on here.
Sure.
We used to do this when we were kids, and clearly my fingers are brittle and old. This is, you don't get these quite often in the market, but when you do, they're delicious little, I don't know what to call them.
Lychees?
Delicious little deliciousness. And they look something like that if you've never had one. They're really nice, and the shapes are really funky. And
if you can, so like, you know, if you want to like...
You want to cut that open?
Yeah, that would be a great idea. I'm not sure why to shove it there like that. But so, it just matches what's already on top. I thought you were opening that to use as part of our display. That's fine, you know. I mean, it's all about enjoying yourself while you're going. And she can't talk now because her mouth is full. Lovely. So we can just like stack that in the corner there. And
anything else you want to put on?
I'm pretty done, but I would probably just use this as a prop. Just put it right there next to everything that's not even on the board because it can't fit.
Excellent. Oh, where's the honey?
Honey, where is the honey? Oh, here we go. So with the honey, we're just going to give a slight drizzle so that everything looks fresh. Yes?
Oh, I was going to put the honey here, but yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, like Bambakau needs honey. And where did you want it out?
Over here.
And right here to give it some sweetness, some freshness. Also, B vitamins.
Wow, like the vitamins from a bee. And just so that we balance all our flavors, I'm just going to squeeze a bit of lemon on it. And this is a moli kula. Yeah, there's all sorts of lemons. We're so fortunate. We have so much citrus in our country. So there's this. You can use lime. You can use kumquats. Whatever's in the market. Cool. I think we are almost ready.
What do we have left to do?
We just need to toast ourselves.
I love this idea. And there you have it. This looks really delicious. I'm so here for it, especially now that I'm no longer a vegan or on keto or on Atkins or, you know, one of the many other diets that I've tried in my lifetime. I basically eat everything now, so this is good.
You an allism.
I'm an allism organism. So the only thing that we need now to finish this Fijian afternoon tea, this is really an afternoon feast, which I think is a lot more appropriate, is Fijian champagne.
Wow, I love how you tossed that nut up like...
You know, I was actually quite surprised because I could have knocked you with it. But
I was fearing for my life, yeah. I will take this. Yeah, everyone else pop champagne. In Fiji, we...
Pop boo. Oh!
No, pop somebody's eye.
Oh! That was hilarious.
I love how when you cut a boo, no matter how much you damage it, it comes out perfect. It's like somebody else did it. You're just gonna ever so delicately fill our champagne glasses.
I love it.
Clearly, we are doing this outside because I am the most not messiest.
Do you know what? This would not be complete without our helpers. I think we should get Coletta and Penny to come back and to toast to our afternoon tea.
Absolutely. Here you go, Mr. Purini man.
And cheers, everybody. Thank you for your assistance. Thank you, Krystelle. You have been so wonderful.
Cheers, cheers.
Thank you to everybody else who doesn't get to have any of this. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you, Krystelle, for being here and for sharing your life with us and your love of food. You know, I mean, I'm already fat, might as well get a little bit fat.
Hey, you only live once.
You only live once. But guys, we've just shown you today how you can take everyday food and turn it into something exquisite, something beautiful, and something special, and something to celebrate, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, we should be celebrating.
And just because something is 50 cents and you walk past it every day from the bus stand going past the market doesn't mean that it can't be high end, it can't be fancy, and you can't serve it for morning tea for fancy people
and
like
I think
him.
I think what's important is to note that those things that are 50 cents or $1, they represent a lot of work. They represent a lot of hard work from the people that you're buying from the micro and small businesses that you're buying from in the market. I think that in these times especially, we should be supporting MSMEs or micro, small, medium enterprises. We should be supporting micro and small businesses. There's a fallacy out there that you know, I read just today that small businesses are the most adaptable. We are adaptable, yes, but it is out of necessity. And I think that it's important to understand that small businesses are also at highest risk of closure. So please, everybody, every one of these people that you see in the market, that that come around to sell to you, what they're doing is they're engaging in business. Buy from them, support them, and make something really, really beautiful and special.
I mean, you're not supporting a massive organization. You're literally helping this person put food on their table, keep the lights on, and that's the most beautiful thing in the world.
I agree. So you get to contribute to a much fairer and beautiful world. And we'll see you next week. Be kind to each other.